Hey guys, it's David Edwards Productions, and today I'm going to be doing a thoughts video on 2014 Trackmaster. So, yeah, and you already know Trackmaster has been retired this year, so I'm just going to be doing a thoughts video about the Trackmaster Revolution Revolution Trackmaster. So, as you could see, I have my Thomas and the 75th anniversary logo. So, yeah, the 75th anniversary logo came from Golden Thomas. So, yeah, it's the 75th anniversary of Thomas and Friends. It was ever since that Reverend W. Awdry published his first Railway Series book in May 1945. So, we celebrate over 75 years of friendship and teamwork. And you're probably asking, wait, aren't you going to be doing any remakes? Well, I was, but I'm having a little bit of trouble waking up because I keep sleeping that much. But right now I'm still working in progress I'm still working in progress with the What's the Matter with Henry remake, which will come sometime tomorrow, because I do not want to keep my patients waiting. I do not want to keep my patients waiting for this remake to come out. So yeah, and you might notice I don't even have a lot of coal cars of Thomas and Friends, because I use boulders, as you've seen it earlier. Anyway, let's just get on to my thoughts on Trackmaster Revolution. So, let's get started. So, what do I think about the Trackmaster Revolution? Well, what do I think of it? It looks I think it was good. Like, they really got themselves their AAA batteries in every single engine. And then they could really run very good. They could run pretty good. They could run pretty good. And for the track itself, the track looks very good and very realistic or something. Probably it was realistic or something. So, yeah. I just really love Revolution Trackmaster. So, yeah. And And also, I really find Tomy Playrail and the classic Trackmaster range, and even the Hit Toy Company Trackmaster, pretty good by fitting on the Revolution Trackmaster track. It looks very good, like the same. And we already know that Revolution Trackmaster could fit on its own tracks, but with Superstation track, or even classic Trackmaster track. So yeah, but sometimes they might get stuck on point switches and even these twisty tracks, whateverness. So yeah. And also I found that Revolution Trackmaster could fit on Tomy Playrail track. But however, it sometimes gets stuck very easily. Like that. And he just stopped right at the action rail tracks from the C62 set. And also, you already know that Trackmaster could really fit on wooden railway. So yeah, and even these tracks, like this. So yeah, just one of these tracks looking like this. I think one of these tracks were from the holiday set, so that's what I'm guessing. Now anyway, on to the video. I know some of you do not really I knew that some of you do not like about Revolution Trackmaster. And you know what I'm talking about. This Revolution Trackmaster Edward. Yeah, but I really find this Edward just pretty good. I found this Edward pretty good like this, but yeah. And also, after watching Trevor Davis's videos, I really didn't even notice until now, like, his side rods were just closer to here. Edward should be having shorter side rods, just like in the show. So yeah, Mattel is just so freaking lazy. So yeah. And I'm not sure about the smokestack. It's supposed to be closer, like the classic Trackmaster or the Playroad version. So yeah, if it was very closer to here, take a look at this push-along Edward here. It looks pretty closer like this. It looks almost a little bit better. But for this Revolution Trackmaster Edward, it doesn't even really do that. They just really make it have that little end there. Mattel is just so lazy for having the side rods short where they should be. But however, I've seen the video of Trackmaster Productions 2016's videos that how he makes the shorter side rods. So, yes. And I know I do not want to do that modification on Edward because why? Well, it's just going to be very hard for me and taking about less time for it. So I might have to get used to these side rods. So yeah. And also for the 2018 Edward, it has the same thing as well. Japanese people are just so lazy. So yeah, but still, I don't even mind how Edward's side rods look, especially one of these. So yeah. Yeah, his batteries are just sluggish. But I might have to give him new batteries soon at the end of the video. Anyway, so the Revolution Trackmaster, in my opinion, looks almost like a little bit good, except almost like a few flaws. Like, let's take a look at Emily for a minute. So, I knew Emily looks just pretty good for some reason, but the only problem, do you really find out a problem with these wheels of Emily? I know her wheels were just like this because it's a side rod, but her side rod should be on the middle wheel, on the fake middle wheel? I think they should. But they're just freaking late there. See what I mean? They were just lazy by not having shorter side rods or longer side rods on Emily and Edward. How lazy is this? How lazy is that? So yeah. And also you might be wondering where I got this Revolution Emily. Well, probably at my local Walmart, but this is the reason why I had to tell you the truth for it. This Emily is one of my brothers, so I had been using this Emily for a very long time. So, yeah. And I really wanted to get a classic Trackmaster Emily so that way I could replace this one because I do need to retire this Emily. Yeah. So yeah. And also I'm using Emily for the upcoming remake of what's the matter with Henry. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. And I know that Trackmaster Revolution really got a lots of rolling stock, like the shorter freight cars. So just let me get something. So let me get one. This is how it really looks like. But I'm using this car with these couplings and the cheap couplings. So yeah, it looks something like this. And what if I get another car, which is this one, it looks something like this. And also for Annie and Clarabelle, I knew they're just kind of short. Just let me bring them over there. Yeah. So I knew these were the Annie and Clarabelle rolling stock that came with Red versus Blue Thomas. So yeah. And I know their faces are stickers because they're CGI stickers. And also, I knew some of you do not like this Annie and Clarabelle only because of their shorter length. Yeah, I knew you could look very closely how they really look because they are short coaches. Yeah. Yeah, I knew some of you might complain about these coaches, like these ones, but I just have to get used to it. So, yeah. So, Eddie and Clarabelle were just like this because they're shorter coaches. So, I have seen Thomas and Friends 47's video of Bachman 2 Trackmaster Annie and Clarabelle, but I thought I would never do something like this because that would be too hard for me to do. But I really know that's a good idea from his mind, but still, I'm not going to be getting some of these rolling stock of Bachman because it's just going to be hard for me to do. So, yeah. But also, I'm very happy that Annie and Clarabelle are going to be longer. So yeah, I will be able to get the motorized Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. So that way I could retire these two of Annie and Clarabelle. So yeah. And also for the lengths of these parts of the coach, like this coach from Runaway Steven, this is almost a little bit different, like you see here. This coach is a little bit higher than this coach. So yeah. Even though this coach goes from empty to full, that came with the Runaway Steven pack. I knew some of you're not going to be liking this Steven, but I had to get used to it. So yeah, I had to get used to this Steven here. Even though he's Trackmaster Revolution. So yeah. So I think I prefer the Revolution Steven better than the classic one because why? Because the Fisher-Price version doesn't have the white and the crown funnel or whatever. So yeah, and it doesn't even have the Olstead Castle logo on the classic Trackmaster model. So yeah, how lazy is that? But I'm thankful that they made Steven a little bit good. So, this is how he really looks like with the crown white funnel. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. And I know some of you might be disappointed, but he doesn't even have his side rod here. But the parts of it, these were the parts of his side rods. So, yeah, these were the parts of his side rods. And also, you might notice, and you know the tender is so short. Yeah, so short like this. But I'm fine how this Trackmaster Steven really is. So yeah, even though he was just one of the parts of the Olsen Castle team, but sadly I don't even have Trackmaster Glenn, but I might have to get him sometime in the near future. And even same goes to making a custom Millie if I have two classic Trackmaster bashes. So yeah. And also for Revolution Trackmaster, like every single time they get their buffers are not painted sometimes. But sometimes they're trying to put details on the buffers, just try to put more effort into the Revolution Trackmaster models. So yeah. And sometimes they were just lazy not to do the white foot plate because Mattel doesn't even do small details like this. So yeah, because I detail them my own. So yeah. And also, if you really use a Revolution Trackmaster to do your customs, I'm okay how I really do, because I really like to do customs too with Revolution Trackmaster. So yeah, let's just take a look at the Revolution Diesel for a minute. Now he was bumping the cars out of the way. Okay. So let me just move the camera a bit. Yeah. So here, let's take a look at Diesel for a minute. So at the front of his face looks pretty good. And the top are pretty good as well as the sides. But can you just see a nitpick on this Revolution Diesel? I think you do, because why? He is not detailed. And he doesn't even have any side rods because he has fake side rods. So yeah. And if I do get some Sharpie marker, or probably not, I might have to keep this Diesel looking like this. So yeah, these were the only nitpicks. Yeah. And also what grateful of Trackmaster Revolution is just they made real steam engines like Thomas, Percy, and James, but I still have my real steam James, so yeah, but I think I am almost about to retire the real steam James, and this will be turned into custom Eagle. Like, like for the one from the Railway series or something, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, back in 2018, Mattel really did do the turbo engines. For example, these were the turbo engines. So yeah, what I really like about the turbo engines is that they just really had this normal thing. But if you really press the tabs or just let it hit the booster tracks, just let me show you it real quickly. These were the booster tracks like here. If they go from yellow, it will slow you down, and they'll change it to green. It will let you go faster. But the only warnings that Mattel gave us, they really has to slow the turbo engine down for avoid derailing on these curves. But sometimes the Thomas fans don't even really care. But I am fine. Because I know it's fun to have crashes, but I knew it's the warning that Mattel gave them. So yeah, And I really like this Turbo Thomas because this Turbo Thomas was from Big World Big Adventures. Almost one of my favorite movies of Thomas. Yeah. So if you really press down on these two tabs, he'll be going turbo speed. But if you slow him down, it would be normal speed. So that is pretty cool. But however, the only things that I do not like about turbo engines is that they sometimes burned out. Like, yes, if we get a turbo engine who really works, it didn't even really go fast that long. He wasn't even really going fast. It's just that silly old lazy Mattel who was just trying to cause the burnout motor burnage on the turbo engines. And besides, we don't even really care. We don't even really care about the motor burnage. And I tried to fix them by myself, but I don't even really know how, so I just took it apart. I took the Turbo Percy apart. Same goes to my Jungle Thomas. So yeah, that is just pretty stupid of me. Yeah, that's just pretty dumb out of me. So yeah, but this Thomas still has the same motor as it is. But some of the turbo engines that I have, some of them are just trying to burn out, like my turbo diesel. Yeah. Why can't you just stop with the burning motor image anymore? I mean, oh my gosh. Dang it. You know you just don't even like the turbo engines because of the motor burn down burnage. So yeah, I knew some of us were not going to be happy about the motor burnage of the turbo engines they really make. So yeah, this is our only complaints about the turbo engines. So yeah. Boop. Okay, so let's just take the rolling stock for a minute. You see any difference between these two sort of cars? So in this car, you have a coupling which is go up and down, like this, and you have a coupling which goes smooth to side. But on the newer cars, they really have one of these newer couplings looking like this, side to side. And there are fake, cheap couplings, they don't even move at all. So yeah, I know some of you will complain about it, as much as the Hyperglow engines, the turbo engines, and of course, push-along engines. So yeah, we just might have to get used to it. So, yeah. Anyway, so, I knew I was just happy about the 75th anniversary, though. So, yeah. And this is the reason why I had to make a video about my thoughts of Trackmaster Revolution. So, yeah. And sorry for the bell noises. Yeah. Anyway, these were my thoughts of the Trackmaster Revolution. And I know the Trackmaster Revolution is going to be retired and be discontinued this year and will be replaced by Trackmaster Motorized, but it's still going to be Trackmaster just the same, but Trackmaster will always just put our place in our hearts. So yeah. And also, let me just get Rebecca before I ended the video. So here's Rebecca, and I know they don't even really do any details that much, like the little buffers. So yeah, they just gave her tiny little buffers. And even on the side, it looks just pretty good or something, but they don't even do details on Rebecca, like the windows, because I had to detail my own. And even for the tender, really doesn't even have the orange lining, so I really had to detail them by myself. And even detail the wheels. I knew some tender engines don't even have the color wheels because they just leave them black, which is lazy in my opinion. So yeah, that's a little bit of a quick look of Rebecca. So yeah, anyway, happy 75th anniversary, Thomas. Anyway, those were my thoughts of the Trackmaster Revolution. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give me a like and subscribe, and just try to leave a comment on the video, but it's still going as cop-a-lot as it is. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video of the What's the Matter with Henry remake. Happy 75th anniversary.